Somehow I got
4B in the packets that have been distributed. An amendment to, proposed amendment to the fourth plank of the platform. It would add the following language as a second bullet item. Quote, we believe that marriage is a personal decision and that the role of government does not include formulating a definition of marriage. Is there a delegate who wishes to speak in favor of the proposed amendment? Delegate has the floor.
Yes, Madam Chairman. Aaron Sterling from Bangor. I think this is actually an ideal amendment. The ideal thing for a political party such as this to do is to not adopt amendments to its platform that's going to serve to divide the platform in the future. This is something that's very, very clearly divided the party nationwide. And hopefully this is something that by amending it this way, we can still keep everybody on the same page. Second of all, for a party that advocates personal responsibility, this is probably the ideal way to address it.
Thank you. Anyone who wishes to speak in opposition to the proposed amendment?
Stephen Sharma, Portland, Maine. I rise to oppose this amendment because I don't think the original plank even belongs in the platform, but the way it's worded here does even worse damage than what's originally written. And so I rise to oppose this and urge everybody to oppose the amendment. Thank you.
Thank you. Would all delegates in favor of the proposed amendment please rise or raise their hands? Be seated, please. All those delegates opposed to the proposed amendment, please rise or raise your hands. Be seated. The nays clearly have it. The amendment fails. Would all those delegates in favor of committing the platform with the pending remaining amendments to the State Committee, please rise in your place or raise your hands.
I want to keep debating it.
The chair has been asked to repeat the motion. Be seated, please. The motion has been made and seconded to commit the platform and the remaining amendments to the State Committee for disposition. In 5 minutes under the order of business that has been adopted by the Convention, we will need to move on to the next item of business. It's the Chair's understanding that that motion was made.
Why now? This is the people's business.
The delegate is out of order. There is a pending motion. Motion offered by the delegate from Cornville and that has been seconded is to commit the platform and remaining amendments that have not resolved to the State Committee. Would all those delegates in favor of the pending motion please rise? The delegate may state his point of information.
Come on, let's vote for the noes here.
Let's go for the noes.
No.
Go for the nays now.
Motion on the floor.
The next one.
Take the no vote.
At the appointed hour for the next item of business to occur, under Robert's rules, the pending question and all pending questions, which in this instance would be adoption of the platform and any proposed amendments, would be put forth for a vote without further debate. And that is the Chair's response to the point of inquiry. There is a pending motion on the floor to commit the platform and remaining amendments to the State Committee. Will all delegates in favor of the pending motion please rise in their place or raise their hands?
We've done it 3 times. Let's get the no vote.
Yeah, get the no votes.
Yeah.
Be seated. Would all those opposed to the pending motion please rise? Be seated. The nays clearly have it and the motion fails.
I hate to give her a hard time.
Excuse me, Madam Chair. Perhaps if you forego the reading of the amendments and just refer to them by number, we could get through them more quickly since we have the handouts.
Some people don't have handouts.
We do not all have the packets.
A motion to suspend reading of the amendments would require a motion to suspend the rules in order to do so. Is the delegate making a motion to suspend the rules? Is there a second to a motion to suspend the rules for purpose of dispensing with reading of the amendments? All those in favor of suspending the rules will please rise or raise their hands. So as to preclude the reading of additional amendments. Please be seated. All opposed?
Hey!
Seated. The motion fails.
Standing up.
The chair now presents.
There's only 9 left.
The chair is advised it is now 1:15 p.m. Pursuant to Robert's rules. The question now before the convention is to present all pending questions before the body without further debate. The chair will read the remainder of the pending amendments. The motion is out of order. That motion has already been made. Chair would advise that under Robert's rules, it now being 1:15, this compels the chair to present to the convention all pending questions on this item of business for a vote without further debate. The remaining pending questions are adoption of the platform with the amendments that have prevailed thus far, preceded by a vote on the remaining pending amendments, one by one, which the chair will read, but which will not be subject to further debate.
Guess we'll have to go with that.
The next pending amendment is to plank 4, which would propose to delete the caption, "We believe that the best government is that which governs least, period. However, we believe that the proper role of government is to help provide for those who cannot help themselves." The chair is in error. That amendment was defeated.
No, it's a separate, it's a new one.
The proposed amendment is to delete the language that the chair just read, but to replace it with the following language. We believe the government has no right to take from the poor, the middle class, or the rich in order to give to those in financial need. Governments have no business redistributing wealth. Charity must be voluntary. Individuals, families, and religious or private organizations are God's intended providers for those who are unable to provide for themselves. Politicians may give out their own personal money to help the needy if they wish, but they have no right to give out the money from the public purse unless authorized by the Constitution. That is the proposed amendment. Would all delegates in favor of the proposed amendment please rise or raise your hands? Be seated. Would all delegates opposed to the proposed amendment please rise or raise your hands? Be seated. In the opinion of the chair, the nays have it and the amendment is defeated.